welcome to Beyond the Pour. Crafted by California Tastings, I'm Nilu, your sommelier host. We're uncorking stories from visionary sommeliers, winemakers, chefs, and mixologists shaping our world. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce Sahar Gharai, the visionary owner of La Dolce Vita Wine Lounge in Petaluma, California. Her story is fascinating, from Berkeley to Florence to Petaluma to now running a fabulous wine bar, I believe for the last 17 years in the heart of downtown, in the heart of Sonoma County, in the heart of Petaluma. And she's not only running this amazing spot, she's also been judging wine competitions. She's a WSET 3, and she is a French wine scholar. So welcome, Sahar. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Nilu. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, my
You.
pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so excited to have you. And I'm so excited for guests to, listeners to know about your amazing spot. I'll tell you this is really funny. I was working in two separate wineries, managing them, when different people came up to me and said, "Hey, you're Persian?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, but you don't sound well, I grew up in England. Okay, da da da. And they're like, "Do you know there's another lady that runs this really cool wine bar in Petaluma?" I'm like, "No. How do I not know about this?" So when I finally found you, like, I don't know, a year ago, I was just so excited.
Thank
Would
you.
you be kind enough to tell us your journey, uh,
Yes. Yeah.
starting the wine bar, before that, wherever you'd like to start?
Okay, great. So I grew up in Petaluma. My parents are from Iran, but I was born and raised here in the Bay Area. And I grew up in Petaluma. And as at a young age, my parents were always really interested in wine and loved going wine tasting. So as a child, we'd have visitors, family visiting. We'd go to Napa all the time, and I always just loved the beauty of it. And then as an adult, my parents continued to go more wine tasting and discovered the Dry Creek area before it really grew. And so I would go wine tasting with them on the weekends and continued to love wine more and more and try to learn a little bit more about it. So after I graduated college, my parents suggested, since I love it so much, I study wine. So I moved to Florence and enrolled in a 1-year wine certification program. And so I did that for a year, and then I came back and worked multiple different jobs. And then my parents had a business in Petaluma for over 30 years at that point, and they knew Theater Square was being built. And so they suggested I open a wine bar here. So we're one of the first tenants to go into Theater Square, and
Wow. And
started in 2007.
is it 17 years? My math is not very good.
It, it's
17,
it's 17,
18?
a little over. It'll be 18 in September. September will be 18 years.
Congratulations. What an
Thank you.
incredible, I mean, I've been to your wine bar, and
Thank
I
you.
tell you, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but
Yeah.
the wine lineup that you've got is absolutely incredible. I
Thank
was really,
you.
really impressed.
Thank you.
Um, but didn't you go to Berkeley
I
before
did.
going
Yeah,
off to Florence?
I did. So after, from Petaluma after high school, I went to UC Berkeley and I wanted to be a doctor. I thought I'd want to be a doctor, so I studied biology. But then halfway through, I realized I really didn't want to be a doctor. And so
Right.
I just completed the major. And then once I graduated college, I was trying to just figure out where to go next. I
Yeah.
worked at an investment bank for a couple of years. And then I just knew I wanted to travel. So that's how the idea of going to a wine program in Europe
i-
evolved.
in Florence.
In
How
Florence.
cool. And when you were in Florence, obviously you were trying Italian wine and traveling and all that fun stuff, getting to know Italy. I'm wondering how much that influenced, obviously you picked the name La Dolce Vita
Yes.
Wine Lounge. Is
Yeah.
that kind of, how would you say that um, influenced the way you set up the wine bar, the
So
Italian
actually,
background?
so back when I was there, I'd go to a lot of the enotecas. When I was living in Florence, they called the wine bars enotecas or wine shops. But I got that concept from a lot of the wine bars I went there. I had never seen at that point in Sonoma County or anywhere in the Bay Area too many places that offered wines by the half glass. And when I was there, I noticed a lot of the Enotecas offered wines by the half glass, and I thought that was a brilliant idea because you can try so many different wines. So I got the concept initially from some of the wine bars there, and then I brought it back, that idea back here.
At that time when you did that, they just weren't pouring half a glass
I didn't see too
in
many
this,
places that offered
right?
glasses of wine or
Yeah,
wine flights. I mean, maybe a place here or there, but I didn't see it. Even now, I don't see it in many restaurants or wine bars, the
yeah.
option to have a half glass. It's mainly like full glasses of wine.
Right, right. How interesting. What do you think the most surprising thing, you've been running this space, you've seen people come and go. Whenever I've been there, it's been packed. What do you feel, have you learned anything from human behavior, people's preferences, just watching people, talking to them? Any specific
In
thing?
terms of wine, or why you think they keep returning?
Yeah, keep returning. Anything specific that you see like happens continuously, as you watch people come
Mhm.
into the space. Do you feel like people come in because they want to see you again? They want to see the family vibe? Or is there anything else that you're picking up?
I think a lot of it has to do with because we've been here for so long, we've gotten to know a lot of our customers like family. So it's a really like family feeling when they come. Many of them have been coming for 18 years since we opened, and they keep returning. And I think it's just that feeling, that vibe of like that they know we care about them, and they generally care about us. A lot of people have made really good friendships here at
Hmm.
the wine bar, like not just with us, but with other customers, and they've developed friendships or relationships. And I think it's just that feeling, that vibe of like celebrating life here and celebrating the highs and lows, whether it's financial like losses, celebrations. I think that that feeling of family is what makes people return.
I love it. I love
I
it.
think that's the
And
main thing.
yeah, I mean, your mom's the head chef, right?
Yes. My
She's
mom
craft,
created the
you know,
recipes.
she makes recipes and she crafts homemade dishes,
Yeah.
soups, charcuteries,
Uh-huh.
different things that you guys offer. Um, I want to ask you, what's a dish she created that tells a story about your family's heritage?
A good question. I don't know if anything that we do is necessarily Persian influenced. The soups we do are unique, but they're not like recipes from Iran
Okay.
necessarily. I feel like a lot of it just comes from the spices and the flavors that I think a lot of Iranians use a lot more spice and flavor than
Mhm.
other cultures. So I think that that makes us like the flavors of our food stand out more.
Right. And I mean, it's really surprising how you come in thinking it's a wine bar and then you can order really great food. So
Thank
that's
you.
always stood out to me and I think your mom's doing an amazing job with
Thank
that.
you. And I think you know too, because like with the Persian culture, like most Persians just cook really well. Like they just like have
We like
like
food.
Persian mom have like just the knack for cooking really well and just having really great flavors. And I think just that's just part of our culture and our heritage. So very fortunate that she's like, been doing the food
Yeah.
and the recipes.
And I'm not gonna toot our horn, but I am kind of thing. Why not? Since it's my podcast.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna say, which Iranian doesn't love hosting?
exactly.
We absolutely get excited about the concept and making people feel included and happy
Yes,
and take care of them kind of thing. So
absolutely.
um, you
And I
feel
think
that.
that's a huge part of our success is because we
Yeah.
have that hospitality aspect and that warm like desire to host and make sure everyone's happy and taking care of everybody. And I think that's a lot of that's cultural, and
It
that's
is
I think part of
cultural. It is
the success.
cultural. I love it. And I notice you walk around and you talk to everybody. So, you make sure everybody
Yes.
it's not like, okay, somebody just pours the wine and walks off. You make a point of talking to people, catching up with them, and it gives you that really comfortable feeling when you're there, which I love. In everything I've done,
Yeah.
I've tried to
Thank
do
you.
that as well. Um,
Thank you.
Here's a cool question. Well, I think it's cool. If you could
Yeah.
teleport your wine bar to any
Uh-huh.
vineyard or place in the world for one night, now this might take some thinking and we can push it out to a question, couple questions down. But if you could teleport your wine bar the way it is for one night to a vineyard or a domain or somewhere that you think, or a place, where would you go and why?
I would go probably somewhere in Europe, and then probably by the coast somewhere, because I think it would be really beautiful to have something like this, like on the Mediterranean. So
Oh,
I
wow.
would say like either Portugal or south of France or south of Italy, or not south of Italy, but Italian Riviera,
Oh
somewhere
my
along those
gosh.
lines by the Mediterranean would
The
be where I would
next the
really.
next question is, can I come with you?
Yes,
Can you take me
absolutely.
with you? Okay, beautiful.
Absolutely.
Because those are my favorite spots
Yes.
too. Do you have a really funny moment that you've experienced with a guest? Something funny that's happened or um anything that you can share with us.
Funny moment.
Like
So
have you accidentally poured wine on somebody, or have
the
you
very first week I opened, I did that.
you did?
Very first week I
I'm
opened, I
just
did
throwing it
spill
out
wine on
there.
somebody. Yeah.
No.
I was nervous,
Oh
so
my
I said
gosh.
just pour wine on someone. But since then, I think I've been pretty
Pretty
good. I
good.
can't think of anything.
I think back and I was thinking when I was writing this question down, when I was working in Napa at a really big winery, and this gentleman came in and he was very serious. He was a chef and he was just like French, and he was just not going to laugh at any of my jokes. And I kept just trying to be funny, nothing, nothing, nothing. Finally, I said something like, "So nothing's going to make you laugh, huh?" And then he started laughing so hard that he spit all the wine that was in
Oh
his
no.
mouth, not all over just the counter. My friends that were with me can attest to this, but all over me.
Oh
So he
no.
went, and I'm just standing there. I kind of froze, I think, for about
Oh
two
no.
minutes because I'm like, what just happened? I had like sprayed red wine all over me at so I got the guy to finally laugh. So that was good, I guess.
Wow,
But
that's hilarious.
wasn't what I
Yeah,
was
nothing
looking
like that's
for.
ever happened here that I can think of. I'm sure there's many stories. I
Yeah,
just can't think of any right now.
that's fantastic. No, I'm glad you haven't had any of those. Um, Let me see. Here's another goofy question, because I love to, I've just started this podcast, but I love to bring music into this concept and ask people, because you get to know a lot about somebody with, talking about music and what they listen to, what they think. Um, this is the scenario I'm going to say. If you're in space and you're looking down at the Dolce Vita Wine Lounge, what song or what music would be playing from where you're watching, and why would you pick that?
So I thought about this a little, and I think the song by Louis Armstrong, "What a Wonderful World," would be kind of in capturing the essence of the wine bar. Like I was looking at the lyrics, and it's everything that encompasses the concept of the Dolce Vita. Uh,
Yeah,
just like people like coming and meeting, and I think one line says shaking hands, saying how do you do, like all that. It's just the vibe and the feeling of, I think, what we've created here. And so I would think that song, there's like heartache, there's happiness, there's tears, there's laughter, there's friendships, and I
yeah.
think that's the beauty of life, and I think this encompasses that.
I love that answer, and that really does resonate. And I do get that feeling when I'm at your spot, really do.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the different kinds of wine you carry.
Mhm.
You obviously, you're a wine judge. You taste a lot of you judged in competitions. Um, how are you picking the wines? Are you constantly going to wineries or are producers coming to you? How do you select these awesome wines?
They come to me. I really wish I could go wine tasting more, and I love going. I just daily life gets a hold of you, and I don't go to the small little vineyards as much as I'd like to. I need to make more of an effort to do that. But right now, the producers, the distributors, they just come directly to me, and I
Yeah.
taste hundreds of wines, and I just pick the ones that I think would fit well here. I try to think of like every type of customer, customers that like buttery Chardonnays, customers that like jammy Zins, customers that like elegant Pinots, customers that like minerally whites, like full-bodied cabs, lighter-bodied cabs. I try to like we pour about 50 different wines by the glass. So I try
Wow.
to find something for everyone at every price point. We have happy hour from 3 to 5. We have $6 glasses of wine then. Even our house wines after happy hour only $8. So that way there's a certain comfort level. If someone wants to spend like $30 on a glass of Brunello, they can. If someone only wants to spend $8 on a glass of wine, they can. And then different flavor profiles. So hopefully someone finds something that they like.
So you are bringing it from, not bringing, but you have wines there that are Italian.
Yes.
You have wines that are French.
Yes.
You have what other countries? I obviously Sonoma
I have
County, Napa.
yeah, Sonoma County, Napa, Spain, sometimes Portugal, South Africa, New Zealand. I try to do a little bit of everything. It ends up being
Yeah,
mostly Italian and French, but I do have a little bit from everything. Argentina sometimes,
I
kind of a
love
Malbec
it.
Carmenere sometimes. So it's just
Yeah,
what I taste at the moment and what I need to fit in to the categories that I currently have.
yeah,
Um, so I base it on that price point,
yeah,
different price points, different flavor profiles.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that I taught a wine class at your wine bar.
Yes.
And when I expressed to you what I was looking for my class, the way you guided me, I was like, I need this is how I explain it.
Mhm.
And you recommended the perfect wines, but not only did you do that, you brought the right glassware out. And I'll tell you, I've had California tastings for 4.5 years, and I've been teaching these wine classes all over the map, wherever. And usually they're, wine bars or wineries or somebody's Airbnb. But when I'm at a winery, I've never had that experience before. Like you bought the right glass out for the
Yeah.
Sauvignon Blanc, for the Chardonnay, for the Pinot Noir, for the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Thank
And
you.
I really want to thank you. And I think that's super cool
Thank
because
you.
it takes it
You.
to another level. Students are learning from that,
Yes.
and
Thank
it brings the
Appreciate
aromas
that.
through.
Thank you.
It is
Thank you.
absolutely wonderful. My last question, unless anything you want to discuss, that we should know, my last question is, what's your dream moving forward? It can be to do with La Dolce Vita Wine Lounge, or it can be your personal future um, thoughts. We'd love to know what you're doing or what you have planned. Whatever you want to share with us.
So I would love to move to Europe, and my goal is to move to Portugal. Um, they open up a smaller version of La Dolce Vita by the Mediterranean there. And then just continue to maybe in sales and more wine travel, visit more vineyards, maybe do more um, consulting in some type of way, shape, or form. But my goal is to move to Europe in the next
Yeah,
couple of years.
yeah. Oh my gosh. You said Portugal. It's one of our favorite. My husband and I constantly are thinking, okay, how can we find a little house there somewhere?
Yes.
We're exactly with you. I think in Europe it's the spot. Such excellent wines too. I mean,
So
damn,
yes,
they don't
yes.
know. We don't in
Underutilized. I
America.
feel like we
Yeah,
don't get as many Portuguese wines. There's so many wonderful wineries there.
yeah,
And I feel like there's not that many that are brought here. There's some of the big producers, but a lot of the small little producers I tried there, I don't find them here. It's
Yeah.
not easy to find. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I am very much in agreement with you.
yes.
And I think it's a cool, cool spot and lovely. The people are so nice too. Well, I wanted to thank you for joining us at
Thank you for having me.
Beyond the Pour, where we're just kind of talking to trailblazers in the industry, cool people.
Yeah.
You're absolutely someone that we look up to, and you know, we can learn from, and appreciate everything. And thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure.